The last two Merlin Mark III aircraft to return from operations in Iraq took part in a flypast at RAF Benson in Oxfordshire, escorted by two of the base's Puma helicopters. The aircraft then landed, and their crews were greeted by senior RAF and Joint Helicopter Command officers gathered at the base, along with friends and families. Defence Secretary Bob Ainsworth was also at the base for the event, marking the end of the helicopter's 6 years of service before they are prepared to be sent to Afghanistan. The Armed Forces personnel were then reunited with their loved ones.
It's hot, sanding. It's just the usual, really. It's fourth time. It's good to be back.
Matt was delighted to see his young daughter Sophie about to celebrate her second birthday.
It's great. Good to see her again. She's grown a lot since the last time I saw her.
Puma helicopters from 33 squadrons supported the Iraqi Airforce operating between the high-security green zone in Baghdad and the city's airport. Meanwhile, 28 Squadron and 78 Squadron's Merlins transported troops and supplies and carried out emergency missions.
It's been a tough battle. You've been operating in extremely difficult environmental conditions. Heat of 50 degrees plus, with dust and sand that can play havoc with engines and blades of helicopters. But this would have been a challenge enough, but you've had to operate in some extremely dangerous environments, whether in Basra or in Baghdad. The skill and the bravery of the Merlin and the Puma crews has been established beyond question over those 6 years. There are many more people who have been involved in ensuring the success of the deployment. The ground crews, the engineers, the supervisory staff, and the logisticians who have kept the force supplied. All of you have played a part and it has been a real team effort. I know too that it's been a challenging time for your families. You've been operating at the limits of sustainment throughout the deployment, particularly in the early years for the Merlins, when the force was still building up, and during the Puma surge in 2006 and 2007. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to all of your families and to your friends for the wonderful support that they've shown, because I know how important it is that you have their backing.
Many of the crews at RAF Benson know that by the end of the year they will be back on the front line in Afghanistan, where conditions are even tougher. Air crews have already started high-altitude training at an American base in California to prepare them for operations in the Central Asian country. The Merlins are being refitted with extra armour and power so they can cope in the extreme conditions as safely as possible.
I mean, we're pulling out all the stops to recover the aircraft back from Iraq, turn them round, replenish them, recop them so they can go out to Afghanistan in a decent state.
The group captain also paid tribute to his staff.
It's a real pleasure and a privilege to welcome the guys back home. They've done a superb job in Iraq. Some of them have been out there for 10, 11 times. That's over 2 years doing operations in Iraq, over maybe 4 to 6 years. Say they've shown great skill, courage and dedication. And they tell me that they've made a real difference to the lives of the Iraqi people. They can see the difference over the last 4 years, and so the fruits of their labours can be seen.
Service personnel from RAF Benson who have served several tours of duty in Iraq are now faced with a new experience with the Merlin deployment to Afghanistan.
I think it should be quite challenging. It should be good. It should be good. Slightly different, I think, what we're used to in Iraq. Certainly with the current state of affairs over there, it's all quite benign at the moment in Iraq, and it's kind of going out the frying pan into the fire a little bit, isn't it? But it should be enjoyable.
The Merlins are due to be sent to Afghanistan at the end of this year.